Hi, my name is Liz Wolfe, and I'm coming to you from New York City. And I coach entrepreneurs to get unstuck so that they can launch and grow an abundant business. And today I'm doing a quick mini training with you about how you can use systems to support you in your goal setting. Now, the formula that I use in all of my coaching is first, you have to have a clear vision. And when I say vision, I'm talking about the overall vision of how you're going to, what's the purpose of your business and why do you even have the business? And we follow that up with purposeful action. So we work together to make a plan so that the action that you're doing and taking is actually bringing you closer to your vision. And along the way, we uncover those hidden barriers that confront all of us and will be sure to slow you down. And that's one of the things that I want to touch on today is some of the ways that you can overcome those hidden barriers. And through doing all that, you can create breakthrough results. Now, as I said a moment ago, the first thing that you want to do before you start out in your entrepreneurial journey or your entrepreneurial year or setting goals for your quarter is you need to know what your vision is. And a vision is a depiction of the future that you are committed to creating. So the key here is that you are committed to creating it. It's not some fantasy that's out there that you hope someday you might get to, but you are committed to creating. Now, I wrote a whole book called Your Business Vision Blueprint, going from getting things done to doing great things. And you can find that on Amazon. And it's a quick, short read. And I highly recommend that before you start setting out to do your goals that you both read that book and do the exercises that are in it. But we're going to assume for the purpose of this little mini training that you already know what your vision is, or at least you're willing to sit down later and look into it. So now one of the things that's very important about your vision is to be specific about what's in your vision. This isn't just some far off fantasy land thing. This is I'm going to create this by this date this way. Now we've all heard the term SMART goals. I'm not necessarily aligning with that. You can use that as a guide if you want. But the point is that the universe will not know what to give you unless you are specific. So I want you to be specific with your goals. Now, the second thing that's absolutely key to the success of you implementing your goals, and what I want to first touch on with this particular training is one of the pitfalls when they have their vision, they set out to, they say, okay, this week I'm going to do XYZ, I'm going to make sales calls, and they set out and they say, I'm going to get a client. That's their goal, right? I'm going to get a client. And they say, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to just keep calling people until I get someone on the phone. And the problem is that we hate calling people and we don't like asking for money and we fear rejection. So in order to motivate ourselves to do this, or in order to get ourselves to do this, we rely on this tool called discipline. Now, to me, discipline is a tool in your entrepreneurial toolbox. It is not the key to your success. Discipline is the result of success, not the reason for it. And what I mean by that is that you will find yourself more easily disciplined and motivated once you get going and you have the success. So I want you through this program, this mini training, I'm going to be talking about leveraging systems. Because when you live from your vision, you have motivation. But if you just have a list of to-dos, every day you're going to wake up and say, I have to do that, I have to do that, I have to do that. You're not really going to want to do it. So you're going to be relying on this tool that you have called discipline. And it's going to be overlaid every day, and you're going to grind down to a halt because everyone has a limited amount of discipline and everyone has a limited amount of willpower. So instead, we're going to shift to living from your vision, which is why you need to have that vision. Go back and read my book, and you will then have motivation. So let me dive in now to what do I mean by implementing systems. Now, I got this idea from Scott Adams and his book, which is called How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. Love this book. Highly recommend that you read this book. I have a book list on my website, lizwolfcoaching.com, which you can see in the lower right here, lizwolfcoaching.com. If you look through my resources, you will see I have a book list. This is on there, and you can go click to there directly to get the link, and you can buy this book. It's an informative and educational as well as entertaining book that I highly recommend. And I remember a few things from it, but the main thing that I took away was his idea of how you can leverage systems. So let me tell you a little bit more about what he said and what it means. So what he says in the book is a goal. He's making a distinction between a goal and a system. And he says a goal is a specific objective that you either achieve or don't achieve sometime in the future. It's a reach it and be done with it situation. I'm going to get a client. I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to pay off my mortgage, whatever that goal is. And in my world, a goal is a fine thing. Without a goal or a vision or some specific thing I'm working towards, I don't even know how to start. But this is an important distinction. The idea here is that so if I want to get a client, then I have to make sales calls, right? So there's no real system there. It's just a goal. Then he says a system is something that you do on a regular basis that increases your odds of happiness. That is my word inserting in here, success in the long run. So to go further with this, what I want you to do is I want you to think about what are the goals that you have. And I actually want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to put a little cross on it. And I want you to write the word goals. And first, I want you to take the time to write down some goals, some things that you want to create. So for instance, I often have 5-day challenges and I have a specific number that I want to be in my challenge. Let's say I want 100 people to participate in my next sales accelerator challenge. And so I have a goal there. And so I would write 100 people in my sales accelerator challenge. Let's say another goal is to get 5 new clients, etc. So I want you to write down those goals. So you might want to pause this training and go and do that now, or you can continue listening and do that when it's complete. Now, on the right, I want you to think about what systems you can put in place to support you getting those goals. So let me explain a little bit more about what a system is. A system is a smaller action that you take on regular intervals that will support you in achieving your goal. So everybody has health on their mind. So I like to use this, even though it has nothing to do with business. I always like to use this example, which is wanting to lose 10 pounds is a goal, but eating right is a system. Or let me say it differently, eating healthy is a system because there's no right way, as we know, to eat, but eating the most healthy way for you is a system. Another thing, example is I have learned that if I'm going out to dinner with my friends, which of course I can't do right now because of the pandemic, but if I'm going out to dinner with my friends, I want to make sure I don't drink too much. So what I do is I have a system. My goal is to only have 2 alcoholic beverages throughout the night, but my system to implement that is I start with a non-alcoholic drink. I have a glass of wine or a beer, which happens to be my beverage of choice, and then I have another non-alcoholic drink. And then maybe if I still want to have another alcoholic drink, I can. But by the time I've done all that, I'm probably fine and it's probably time to go home. So that keeps me feeling great the next day. A system might be, if you say my goal is to get 8 hours of sleep, but my system might be to start winding down at 9 o'clock, turn off my electronic devices, etc. So I want you to, in the left, next to each one of your goals, I want you to think about what a system would be. In the case of business, my goal is to get 5 new clients. So my system could be to set aside, depends on your method of working, to set aside an hour a day to do only sales calls. that system doesn't work for me. A better system that works for me is make 5 sales calls. So I happen to be a deadline motivated person. So I have a thing where I'll say every day I will reach out to 5 people. Let's just use that as a simple system. So if I just say get a new client, it's too vague and it's not manageable. But if I say I'm going to create a system to support that, and then I follow that system. Now, one other advantage to the system methodology is that if you set a goal, like I'm going to lose 10 pounds or I'm going to get 5 new clients, and you fall short of that, you will end up in disappointment land. However, and that happens a lot because the goal is so big that we often don't achieve them. However, if I have a system where every day I will reach out to 5 people and I do that every day, I have shorter increments of success, which will then bring me closer to achieving my goal. And if I only do 4, the next day I go back to doing 5. Now, a quick side note, and I know this is a mini training, so I don't want to go on too long, but a quick side note is I use action in my coaching to uncover the flaw in the plan. Meaning, if I say I'm going to make 5 sales calls every day, or I'm going to reach out to 5 people every day, and consistently I only make 2 or 3, well, then I know there's a flaw in the plan. I need to go back to uncovering those hidden barriers to find out why am I not fulfilling my goal. Now, this is a step that most people overlook because they just go back. Okay, today I'm going to discipline myself and I really am going to make those 5 calls. But this is what I said, discipline only goes so far. So set up your goals, set up some systems. Don't focus on the goals, focus on the systems. And of course, you must follow up with action. As the Japanese proverb says, vision without action is a daydream, but action without vision is a nightmare. So have a plan, think of a plan, put your system in place, and then of course most important is to be accountable to someone for that. And that's what I do. I'm a coach and I help people to stay accountable. So not only do I help you create your vision, do I help you come up with the purposeful action, which is the plan, uncover those hidden barriers, but I also help you to be accountable. And of course, you should be contacting me if you are feeling stuck and you would like to get unstuck so that you can grow your business and create that abundant business you want. And you do that by being accountable to someone. For most of us, being accountable to someone outside of us is more effective than being accountable to ourselves. Here's my final thought. Most people underestimate what they can accomplish in a day and overestimate what they can accomplish in a year. Okay, here's my final thought. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a day and underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. That's something that Bill Gates said, and I'm sure it's been said by other people as well. What do we mean by this is you are going to set these lofty goals for yourself every single day, and you think, I'm never even going to get all that done in this year. So putting those systems in place, small changes make big results. Highly recommend that you reach out to me. You can schedule a call with me, lizwolfcoaching.com/contact me. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address. Reach out to me. Let me help you to launch and grow a successful and abundant business. Thank you so much for listening to my little mini training on systems, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.